All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm here with a member of a band that I first heard about. I guess it was probably a year or so ago, and I think I reached out then, but you guys weren't sort of ready to talk about the band at that point because it was too fresh. So I think the best way to start this off is if you want to introduce yourself and give a bit of background about the group, and we can sort of go from there.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm Neil Wood from here in Winnipeg, and I have a band, Dub City Foundation, and we're a reggae band. And we started up around 2020, or yeah, around 2020.
Okay,
I got the idea to start this up. Got a little nudge from a friend or two, people over at the Liberal camp. You interviewed him once upon a time there. So I started with him. They kind of needed a band, so we just kind of formed something up, and we went and played the Soca Reggae Fest in
cool.
2022. Or no, that was 2020. So yeah, we did that and some other gigs. So we just started doing that, just playing covers and getting ready, and
And then the
just
pandemic happened, right? And that must have obviously affected your ability to do anything, just like everyone else.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I've been just doing lots of classic rock stuff with my other band, Woody and the Wild Ones,
Okay,
doing a lot of that kind of thing, and then I've always been into like reggae and stuff back in the days. Go to Blackarama and all that.
for sure. Yeah, great festival.
Yeah, so did that for a while, and just keep on doing that.
Cool. Well, maybe so Dub City is how big is the band? How many people are in it? And then what sort of background do a lot of those players have? Because I mean, especially with reggae, Winnipeg has this long history, but it's sort of almost a secret history where there's all these bands that play at very specific venues and at very specific times. And I feel like if you're not sort of actively looking for it, you might miss some of it. So and it's been like
Yeah.
that for years. I feel like there's a strong audience, but the audience is very sort of they're in the know more so than the general public,
True,
right?
yeah, and that's part of what I'm trying to do is change that up and get my friends from the classic rock and other genres to check out reggae because it's new and it's proving it's always new songs, great new music coming out of California and stuff in Brazil and just all kind of lots of new music. Reggae is always putting out. So I got into that a hell of a lot and really love doing that.
Well, as far as the other band members, I mean, is there a history of playing in the local reggae scene, or are these all
Oh
guys who are
yeah,
just sort of wanting to
yes,
try it out?
definitely. Our drummer Gary Sandlin, he's been in quite a few reggae bands around with the Rebel Force and the
He was in the Peacemakers too.
Peacemakers.
Yeah, he was on my show with talking about the
Yeah,
Peacemakers years
he
ago. Yeah,
was. Yeah, so he said say hi anyway. And our bass player Christopher has been in a few of those bands also. So
cool.
yeah, those guys been in reggae bands. The keyboardist, he's been in a few bands also. I can't remember exactly what bands he's been in, but I tried to find everybody in the band have some sort of reggae connection because it's the passion that makes the music really sound great. If
For sure.
so that's
He,
what we're doing. We were a seven-piece band. We have a backup singer, Nadia Thompson. She does our backup singing, hopefully with that, and
cool.
have a percussionist, Andy. He does a lot of cool percussion. So we got a mixture of ethnicities in the band. So it's really cool, and we're gaining momentum. We're writing new songs, and it's all coming up doing well for us.
Cool. Well, it's good to hear for sure. This is the question everyone hates answering, but how do you define sort of more specifically the sound that you do? Obviously, it's a reggae band. Reggae as an umbrella genre, over the past 50, 60 years has morphed and changed, and there's different
Hmm.
substyles and everything like that. I mean, are you just sort of strictly a roots reggae band, or are there other things that are playing a
Well,
factor
we're
there?
adding like a blues roots, like a blues kind of in there. We're heavy on the saxophone. I really love the saxophone sounds. We're bringing
Yeah,
that in. That's one of our feature instruments would be the saxophone. Doing lots of soloing and stuff like that. So lots of neat rhythms you can come up with.
for sure, for sure.
We've done that, yeah.
I mean, I know you mentioned you played the Soca Reggae Fest and all these things sort of pre-pandemic, and now shows are obviously back, and then that's great, and there's a lot going on. What was your sort of as a band? What was your introduction to the local reggae scene? Did you find it like an easy fit to go in and say, "Hey, we're this new band playing this style of music," or was it a little
Uh,
bit more difficult to sort of maybe make people take you seriously?
well, they're very welcoming, the reggae scene here. They're very nice people, and yeah, we got into the Reggae Fest. We started dealing with them right away, and they open arms welcomed us in. And then we had the IRL festivals we were doing with Junior there. He's a native of Jamaica, so he's opened his arms, said, "We love you guys. We're just, we're trying to grow. We want to grow with you, and we'll welcome you in." So they did events for them, and we done the soca reggae, and we done other small stuff around,
Yeah,
and so yeah, it's all working out that way. Yeah,
that's good. This is what you want, right?
I
Um,
appreciate the scene here. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
real.
yeah, for sure. I mean, and like I said, it seems like it is a very deep and involved scene. I mean, I've been going to reggae shows since the mid '90s when I was a teenager, but
Mhm.
it's not the most prominent genre in Winnipeg. I mean,
No,
outside of the kind of the community and people who seek it out, right? So you mentioned earlier that you want to sort of change that a bit and maybe bring some of that classic rock sort of background you have and get those people interested in reggae music. So how do you
yeah,
do that? How do you sort of introduce it or reintroduce it to a Winnipeg audience that is very much? I mean, it's a classic rock town, it's a punk town, it's a folk bluegrass blues town,
country. Yeah.
but so where do you how do you get reggae sort of to where it should be? I guess in people's minds. Um,
Um, Great question. Just
there might not
just
be an answer.
getting
Yeah,
out playing and getting my friends out, and then just turning them on, and they get to turn on their friends for the music, and it's just word of mouth, basically. It's just getting them into the music that's coming out of this California and the States. There's great music coming out of there. Last year, the Grammy winners was a reggae band called Soja.
that's right. Yeah, and that was
Yeah,
controversial. A lot of people were pissed off about that.
yeah, exactly. So, but it's a big thing out there. So the crowds are changing, the people are changing, who are loving it. So it's the world renowned music that's just out there, and it's the heartbeat of the music, makes it
Yeah,
go, makes you feel, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely spread internationally in the past few decades, and
Mhm.
like you say, there's that California sound that is sort of its own, almost its own sub sound of
It is.
reggae. Do you feel that there's anything in Winnipeg that sort of ties all of the local artists together? And maybe not necessarily as strongly as that California thing does, where there's a specific sound, but is there a Winnipeg reggae sound? And if so, what is it? And if not, like, should there be one?
I'm not sure if there's a Winnipeg reggae sound. I know the bands here are trying to be very authentic to the Jamaican sound and just keep it very tight. The dance hall is taking over big time, like,
For
right?
sure.
That's it's trying to kind of compete with the dance hall because that's very popular. But we are a seven-piece band, so it's hard to get out and do these big gigs. But yeah, we're putting on an event soon here, so yeah, we're just getting more friends out to turn people on to the music. Not sure what the sound is. Reggae just has that sound. I guess the Dub City sound would be what my influences are kind of coming out of me when I was
Okay.
young. It's just the classic rock sound, right? The CCR and the Guess Who. I was singing along in the Chevy van going
Yep.
to dirt bike races when I was a young kid in the 80s and that. So that just got my ball rolling into music.
What was your introduction to reggae personally?
Um, just listening to music back in the early 80s when I was getting turned on to music, it was doing that, like the classic rock, Bob Marley, definitely, right? Everyone knows Bob Marley. So that got me going and interested, and I started going to the festivals.
Yeah.
They had them in Winnipeg Square up down by Waterfront there, and then they kind of changed and move around. But I've been to that. Couldn't catch any major shows that came through, but did a show in front of Luciano last year, so
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome. I didn't get to meet him at all, well, but
I've actually interviewed him twice. Two
oh
times
yeah,
that he's come here. The best guy. The second time
he's
we
very
sat
nice.
at a coffee shop for like an hour, and
Oh,
and
nice.
and he just drank coffee and talked to me. It was awesome. It was like the nicest
Oh,
guy ever, which is cool because I've been listening to him for years, right? So it was
hmm
very very cool to sort of sit down with him and realize he's just like this totally normal dude. It's great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, so I mean that's sort of a thing that Winnipeg does have going for it is that people will come in, artists of that stature like Luciano will come in and they'll need local musicians to back them up, right? Like in the early 2000s, I was one of the organizers of the Winnipeg Ska and Reggae Festival. We had Mikey Dread come in, and we
Oh,
had Willie Williams come in, and Sugar
oh,
Minot, and in every case, it was local guys sort of formed a band,
Yeah.
right beforehand, learned all
Hmm.
the rhythms, and then they came and sang on it. So, I mean, is
Yes.
that something that you guys would like to do? Is sort of back up some people who are
Oh,
maybe
we
more
should. Yeah,
established?
well, I would love to do that. Yeah, that would be a great idea. Last year when Luciano came, he came with his own band. So that, yeah,
That's a bit different, yeah, yeah. But
yeah.
the first time he came, it was all, I think it was all local people who backed him.
Hmm. But there is definitely other great reggae musicians in town. So they kind of there's lots of guys who have played with Luciano, a few guys I know, and so I guess they would get the dibs to go play with him first. But who knows how that works? You just yeah, so I'm just getting the things rolling, get my ball rolling, get people noticing the band, and
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully that will come down the road. Yeah.
Well, and you
Mm.
have an advantage, I guess, of being a self-contained unit, right? I mean, like all these other people are just individual players getting together, and you guys, the longer you're around, the tighter it'll get, and the more sort of
Exactly. Yeah.
you'll be maybe useful as as a band that's already formed, right?
Yes, yes. So I think yeah, and we have lots of players, percussion. We got keyboards, saxophone, like I said, and
Yeah,
guitars, and so we got pretty much everything. Yeah, we could use to do that for them.
that would be cool. Yeah, yeah. Well, so the timing on this interview is that you have a show coming up, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But
Hmm.
what is the sort of situation with the band right now as far as recording music? I know you said you started off playing covers. Now you've got more original music happening. Do you have plans in the works for putting out any music
Oh
of
yes,
original? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, well, we started up the website for that purpose too, so to kind of get the music out that way. Also, to sell some tickets for the upcoming event. So yeah, I've been writing songs for, a few years now. We're just kind of compiling them together, getting it ready to record. We got probably two at least we can do real quickly here after this event. We're gonna get onto recording that. And yeah, this summer we'll have a couple songs out there to get people into
cool, cool. Well, and the
the
event is a Valentine's Day show, right? I mean, this will come out,
yeah.
a few days before that. What can you tell me about the show? It looks like it's got a lot of people involved.
Yeah, well, I just called up some friends. Got the Rock Calypso band coming down. Glenworth is going to come do his phenomenal performance that he does all the time, and we're going to get Robert Andreas. He's a blues player and singer from Italy. He does some
Oh,
reggae
cool.
also, so I'm sure you know of him. So he's coming down. He's going to come up and play some songs with us too, and so yeah, it's going to be a great night. And then Dub City's going to play at the end of the night. And
Is it all? I mean, because of the Valentine's Day thing, is it all sort of love themed? Do you do a bunch of lovers rock or something, or what's
well,
it?
our band kind of yeah, we learned a bunch of songs. It's a yeah, be like a lovers rock a set list. Yeah, so we got some cool
Cool.
stuff coming. It's like a mixture of reggae songs and some classic rock songs. We kind of reggae-fied and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
so it's
that's a long. There's a long tradition of that, though, right? There's like
oh yeah.
going back to even the 50s and 60s with the ska stuff, like taking existing songs and converting them into this rhythm and this style. It's a thing for sure.
It is, yeah, yeah. So like you mentioned Sugar Minot, so we'll be doing a Sugar Minot song
Right
at the
on.
yeah, we're doing some Bob Marley. You do a few songs from him. It's gonna be a fun night. So we're really happy. And it's the first time I put this on, so it's looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great time over at XQ's.
Excuse. Okay, I was about to
Yes.
ask where it's happening. Yeah,
Hmm.
cool, cool. Do you
Hmm.
think that just speaking about Marley, do you think that obviously he is always popular, deservedly so, always will be popular. But
Hmm.
did you see a boost at all in interest in reggae when that movie came out last year? Because it
I
seemed
think
like it. I think it won a Grammy too. The soundtrack,
they
right?
just won it. Yeah, I just saw
Yeah,
that today. They won the Grammy for that album today, and they're still going hard. So everybody knows the Marleys.
yeah, for sure. But do you think that gave the genre a lift at all? Maybe, I mean, not
I
necessarily
think
in
it
Winnipeg,
did.
but
I think it did. It kind of opened some people's eyes. Movie's just a brief time in Bob's life there around the time when he's writing the albums and that. So I think it did. Yeah, and get some other people who quite didn't know. They knew the name, but they don't know really who he was or what he.
or they knew some of the songs and didn't even realize
Yeah,
that was who the
exactly.
songs are about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's the best way to find out more about you guys? I mean, I know that, like you said, you got new music coming out sort of in the future, but
Hmm.
you're playing shows now. You're sort of out and about. What's the best way to find out more about what's happening with Dub
Well,
City?
head us on the socials, I guess, Instagram and Facebook. We're Dub City Foundation. We also have our website up and running now where you can actually buy merchandise and cool stuff like that. So that's dubcityfoundation.com.
Cool. I see
And
you're wearing some of your own merch, which I always
I
approve
am,
of.
yeah, I got the shirt on, yeah. So
I love seeing bands wear their own merch. I think it doesn't happen enough. I mean, you got it, you might as well wear it, right?
Well, I was
Promote
thinking,
yourself. Stop promotion.
yeah, I was thinking about that earlier, like what's in my closet, and I was like, oh, I got a Rush shirt, I got some Zappa, I got, Iron Maiden, I got my Marleys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I figured, let's promote the band tonight and get
Yeah,
that.
right on, right on.
Yeah.
Do you have anything sort of coming up in the near future after this Valentine's Day show? I mean, obviously all of your energies are sort of focused on this one
Well,
at the
we're
moment.
just gonna start booking gigs right away here. Get in an agency, and hopefully be in some casinos. We're usually playing Soca Reggae Fest every year. We'll also be at Lilac Resort
Oh,
around
cool.
Canada Day, which is also International Reggae Day. So
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
check us out, Lilac Resort. Definitely, we're there every year. Yes, so that's gonna be
Do,
lots of fun.
do you think? I mean, I often ask bands on the show sort of where they think they fit within the local music scene. Obviously, because you're playing, more of a niche genre for Winnipeg. Um,
Hmm.
there's a scene there that's sort of established, but do you have sort of ideas of where you want this band to go within the city? I mean, you named a few venues just now, but there's also always that kind of connection to the rock scene as well, right?
Yeah. I just like to play anywhere I can. We're just gonna get the name out, play where we can, play where we can. Do festivals out of province too. Like we want to get some of our songs out. I really believe they're very strong songs. So I think they could do very well and just get the word out, get the songs out, and do some local shows around. Head out maybe out to Vancouver, BC. There's lots of cool reggae fests there.
Yeah, they have that big one, right? So yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
for
So I'd
sure.
love to go play there, and it's just all like stagger steps of getting up to where you want to be, right? I remember years and years ago when I'm at the festivals, and I'm like, oh, I'd really love to play here one day, super awesome. And here I am, I'm playing here now. So it's making those steps, start recording music. So do that, and then the next step we'll get up and we'll start touring, and
Yeah, yeah.
nothing big, but get out and do stuff, and
Well,
yeah,
touring with even playing shows with a 7 piece band is tricky enough. I mean,
yeah,
touring with all those
definitely, yeah.
people, right? Do you is this band sort of malleable in terms of like, can you play a smaller version of the group, or is it always sort of all seven of you? Is it
No, I
possible to strip it
could.
down?
Yeah, we could trim her down if needed. Yeah, just kind of adjust the set here and there. I also want to do some duo stuff with a friend or two, maybe do some small coffee shops and do that kind of thing too soon.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of why I was wondering. I mean, you
mm,
you mentioned Rockalypso a few minutes ago, and that band has had so many different permutations. I mean, there's the one guy who's been in it forever, but they've had I've seen them like with a full band. I saw them over Christmas at Polo Park, and it was him and a sax player, and it
I
was
know,
like two
yeah,
people,
yeah,
right? So it's I think it's easy to think of reggae as being something that requires sort of a big group of people because of horns and because of keyboards and all
yeah,
this stuff. But
yeah,
for some reason, it works in a stripped
yeah,
down fashion too.
yeah. It does. Yeah. So I play a lot of acoustic here at home just by myself, and I got a percussionist I do jamming with. So we get on that and we'll head out and do some coffee shops and do smaller stuff like that. And definitely, yeah, we can strip her down to a
Cool.
small thing and start getting the songs out there too. That way, I guess, too, would be a good idea.
Is the songwriting process with this group, are these all your songs that you're sort of bringing to the other members, or is there
Pretty
collaboration?
much. Yeah, just kind of sitting jamming when I jam and it just pops in my head. I get an idea and I'll write it down and I'll bring it to the band and hey, what do you guys think of this? And boom, 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 and just keep on. Yeah, that's pretty much how that works with us.
As someone with a classic rock background, like you mentioned, is it using a different part of your brain? Like when you write a song, how do you determine sort of if it's going to be a reggae song or it's going to be a rock song? I mean, is
That's
there
a
an
funny
obvious
thing.
is there an obvious moment when you're writing it that okay, this will definitely go with this band or not?
Well, you kind of can morph it and change it, and yeah, but lots of songs they start out like a rockish way, and you can just kind of adjust the beat, and then it's whoa, that sounds really wild, the reggae side there too. So it works either way too. So
Sure,
I found that out just flirting around at home here. Yeah,
right on.
yeah.
Do you want to plug the show one more time? The show happening on Valentine's Day.
Oh yes, well it's a Lovers Rock evening at Excuses Cafe on Sargent. It's on Friday, February 14th, obviously. And would be three bands, and it'd be lots of fun. So come on out, bring your deer. Yeah, we're starting at 7 o'clock. Show starts at 8. So yeah, that's a great time. Great food and drinks there. So yeah.
Cool. How do you Valentine's Day is such a. I mean, it's what Valentine's Day is a whole other conversation. But I mean, it's a very popular night, obviously, to go out. Right? People are
Hmm.
generally going out on Valentine's Day if they're a couple or whatever. Do you? What's tell me on this show? I mean, if I was someone trying to find something to do for Valentine's Day, why should I choose your gig?
Well, it's gonna be a very nice romantic night, beautiful saxophone music. You could go have your dinner and come on down to the show, and it's going on till about midnight or so, so it's not too late of a night, and you can always find that romantic time with your dearest there afterwards. So yeah, it'd be a great night of music. So come on down, check us out. Yeah,
Right
lots of
on.
fun.